Alex Morgan stretched at her desk after working for 16 hours straight. She had finally finished tomorrow's repair list. As the chief engineer at Orbital Station 7's maintenance dock, her job never seemed to stop. She gazed out the window at Earth below, a beautiful blue ball in the vast darkness. The station had been built a decade ago when humans joined the Galactic Alliance. It was not the largest or most modern repair facility in the galaxy, but it had a solid reputation among human captains. The emergency alarm suddenly blared. Alex grabbed her tablet and rushed to the control room. Director Frank Daniels stood with a serious expression. An unscheduled ship just entered our space. They need emergency repairs. One of ours? Alex asked. No, Frank said quietly. Rixian. Alex looked up in surprise. Rixians were bug-like aliens from 17 light-years away. They had advanced repair stations far better than Station 7. Why would they come here? The captain says they have critical damage to their warp stabilizer, explained Joe, the communications officer. They requested permission to dock. Frank studied Alex. What do you think? Bay 4 is empty. We can take them, Alex said after checking the schedule. Tell them yes, but have security standing by, Frank ordered. 20 minutes later, Alex stood in repair Bay 4 with Frank and 4 security officers. The massive doors opened slowly, showing an alien vessel smaller than expected. Its dark green hull bore strange markings, and damage was visible on one side where something had hit it hard. The ship landed with a soft hiss. A door slid open and a tall figure stepped out. Captain Ziegfeld stood 7 feet high, with a hard shell-like body similar to an earth beetle. 4 arms extended from his upper body. His large, compound eyes and moving mandibles gave him an unusual appearance. He wore a uniform with unfamiliar symbols. Greetings, humans of Orbital Station 7, he said through a translator device. I am Captain Ziegfeld. Thank you for allowing us to dock. Frank stepped forward. Welcome, Captain. I am Director Frank Daniels. This is our lead engineer, Alex Morgan. She will handle your repairs. The alien turned his large eyes toward Alex. His posture seemed respectful. Engineer Morgan, your help is greatly appreciated. Happy to help, Alex replied, trying to sound calm despite her surprise. Can you tell us what happened? We encountered an unexpected debris field near the Proxima system. Our sensors failed to detect it in time. A large piece of metal struck our port side, damaging our warp stabilizer, the captain explained. Why did you bypass your own repair stations? Alex asked. Captain Ziegfeld's mandibles clicked softly. Human repairs have a favorable reputation among deep space travelers. Your species approaches problems with unique perspective. Fellow captains who have experienced human repairs speak highly of the results. Alex and Frank exchanged confused looks. Differently? Frank asked. Yes, your approach is unique. You fix things the best way possible, not always the standard way, the alien captain replied. Over the next few hours, Alex and her team examined the damaged warp stabilizer. They realized that while the technology was advanced, the principles were similar to human systems. Standard procedure would be to replace the entire unit, but replacement parts were not available. The next morning, Alex presented her solution to Captain Ziegfeld. We can reinforce the damaged section with titanium alloy and recalibrate the internal field generators to compensate for the structural changes, she explained. This is not standard procedure, the captain noted. No, but it should work. We have done similar repairs on human ships, Alex admitted. Proceed, Captain Ziegfeld said. It took Alex's team 3 days to complete the repairs, working in shifts and following Alex's plans carefully. When finished, Alex ran a full system check. The results were surprising. Captain, the warp stabilizer is now functioning at 112% of its original efficiency, she said, showing him the readout. Captain Ziegfeld's mandibles clicked rapidly with what Alex had learned was surprise or excitement. How is this possible? The titanium alloy is lighter but stronger than your original material. The recalibration allows for better energy flow, Alex explained. It was the most efficient solution with the materials we had. The alien captain was silent for a moment. Finally, he looked at Alex. This confirms what I had heard. Human repairs are indeed special. You do not simply restore, you improve. Before departing, Captain Ziegfeld paid not just the agreed fee, but added a substantial bonus. More importantly, he posted a highly positive review on the Galactic Alliance network recommending Station 7 to other alien captains. As Alex watched the Rixian ship disappear into space, Frank joined her. "That was unexpected," he said. Alex nodded. "Why would advanced aliens want our simple repairs?" Frank shrugged. "Maybe being simple has its advantages sometimes." Neither realized this was just the beginning. Within weeks, more alien vessels appeared at Station 7, all requesting human repair methods. Alex's life was about to change forever. 6 months had passed since Captain Ziegthel's visit. Everything had changed for Alex and her repair team. The Rixian captain's message on the galactic network spread rapidly. First came 2 more alien ships, then 5, then dozens. Now Station 7 had a waiting list 3 months long. Alien captains from across the galaxy wanted what they called human touch repairs. Alex had been promoted to handle interspecies repair relations. Her job was to speak with alien captains, understand their needs, and figure out what made human repair so valuable to them. "I still don't understand it," Alex said to Joe Ramirez, who now worked as a cultural liaison with the alien visitors. They sat in the station's cafeteria after a long day. "Why would advanced aliens want repairs from humans? Our technology is 100 years behind most of theirs." Joe shrugged. "Maybe it is not about the technology, maybe it is about how we think." "What do you mean?" Alex asked. "Well, I have been talking to some of the captains. They say something interesting about human repairs. They say we are unpredictable, creative. We do not follow the standard way of doing things," Joe explained. Alex thought about this. It was true that human engineers were trained to be flexible. When exploring deep space with limited supplies, you learn to fix things with whatever you had available. "I have asked permission for you to interview some of the captains," Joe said. "Maybe they can explain it better than I can." The next day, Alex met with Captain Draw in a meeting room. Draw was from the Andromeda Galaxy, and his species looked like large blue jelly blobs. He moved around in a special floating container filled with gases he needed to breathe. "Thank you for meeting with me, Captain," Alex said, sitting down across from the alien. "The pleasure is mine, Engineer Morgan. Your reputation grows among ship captains," Draw replied, his translator turning his bubbling sounds into English. "Why do alien captains prefer our repairs?" Alex asked. "Your technology is more advanced than ours." Draw's body rippled, which Alex guessed was his version of nodding. "Your species does not worship perfection. You accept adaptation. Where my engineers would discard and replace, you tinker, you improvise. The result is ships that have character and resilience beyond their original capabilities." "So it is about creativity partly," Alex said, taking notes on her tablet. "But there is more," Draw explained. "Factory repairs from my world are always the same, always perfect, always identical, but sometimes identical is not best. Sometimes unique is better." After speaking with Draw, Alex interviewed 5 more alien captains that week. They all said similar things. Human repairs were different, unexpected, sometimes better than the original design. The most dramatic example came 3 weeks later. Captain Nevra, whose massive cargo hauler had been repaired at Station 7 2 months earlier, sent Alex a message. His ship had returned from a dangerous journey through space. An ion storm had disabled 3 other cargo ships of the same type, but Captain Nevra's ship had survived without damage. "It was the power distribution system your team installed," the captain told Alex during a video call. "The way you connected it created a unique energy flow pattern. When the ion storm hit, that pattern protected our critical systems." "That was not planned," Alex admitted. "We just did what worked best with the parts we had." "Exactly," Nevra said, smiling. "That is why we seek human repairs." As Station 7's reputation grew, pressure increased from Earth's government. They wanted to know the secret of human repair. Politicians and scientists visited the station, watching Alex's teamwork. "There is no secret," Alex told them. "We just fix things the best way we can with what we have." But the visitors were not satisfied. They wanted something they could write down and teach in schools or program into computers. One evening, after another long day of government visits, Alex found Frank in his office looking exhausted. "More questions about our repair secrets?" she asked, sitting down. Frank nodded. They do not believe it is just human creativity. They think we have discovered some advanced alien technology and are keeping it secret. That is silly, Alex said. We are just doing our jobs. I know, Frank replied, but the situation is getting complicated. The Galactic Alliance Trade Commission is starting to ask questions too. Some of the big alien shipbuilding companies are not happy with us. Why would they care about a small repair station like ours? Alex asked. Frank looked at her seriously. Because we are cutting into their business. If ships repaired by humans last longer and work better, fewer new ships need to be built. Alex had not thought about the politics of the situation before. She was just an engineer doing her job. But now she realized their work was having effects far beyond Station 7. The next day, a new ship arrived at the station. It was bigger than any they had seen before. A Hegemony battle cruiser. The Hegemony was one of the oldest and most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. Their technology was said to be thousands of years ahead of Earth's. When the ship docked, its captain requested a personal meeting with Alex. Captain Vra was tall and thin with pale white skin and long forearms. His species looked almost skeletal to human eyes, but they were known for their intelligence and long lifespans. Engineer Morgan, he said when they met, his voice deep and formal. Your reputation has reached even the Hegemony High Command. I have traveled 12 parsecs to seek your assistance. What seems to be the problem with your ship, Captain? Alex asked, trying to hide her surprise. Our quantum navigation array is malfunctioning, Captain Vra explained. Our own engineers have tried 3 times to repair it without success. I believe your unique approach may succeed where they have failed. Alex felt a mix of pride and fear. The quantum navigation systems of a Hegemony battle cruiser would be far more advanced than anything she had worked on. We will do our best, Captain, she said. But I should warn you, we have never worked on Hegemony systems before. Captain Vra nodded his long head. That, Engineer Morgan, is precisely why I came to you. The Hegemony battle cruiser was the most impressive ship Alex had ever seen. From the outside, it looked like a long, dark spear with strange patterns along its hull that seemed to move when you were not looking directly at them. This is our navigation center, Captain Vra explained as he led Alex and her team through wide corridors with high ceilings. The room was large and circular with a glowing sphere in the center. Around it were control panels with symbols Alex did not recognize. The quantum navigation array is connected to this central sphere. It allows us to plot courses through spacetime with extreme precision, Captain Vra said. What exactly happens when it malfunctions? Alex asked. The array loses synchronization with our destination coordinates. It causes our jumps through space to end up slightly off target. For a ship of this size, even small errors are dangerous, Vra explained. Alex's team was given access to the technical systems and began their work. Samantha Wells, one of Alex's best engineers, was the first to notice something unusual. Alex, come look at this, Samantha called from near the glowing sphere. She was using a human scanner to examine the system connections. Alex walked over. What did you find? The readings are strange, Samantha said, showing Alex her scanner. It is almost like the system is reacting to our scans. Reacting like it is alive? Alex asked. Not exactly, but something similar, Samantha replied. Look at these patterns. Alex studied the scanner readout. The energy patterns seemed to shift and change as they watched, almost like they were responding to being observed. Alex turned to Captain Vra, who was standing nearby. Captain, is the navigation array partly organic? Vra tilted his head. Organic? No. It is composed of quantum-aligned materials and energy fields, but it responds to stimuli like a living thing. All advanced systems show adaptive behaviors. It is simply advanced technology, Vra replied. Alex was not so sure. She asked permission to bring in Dr. Pete Kennedy, the station's xenobiologist. Pete normally studied alien life forms, not ships, but Alex had a theory she wanted to test. When Pete arrived, he brought specialized equipment for analyzing biological samples. Captain Vra seemed confused, but allowed it. This is completely outside my normal field, Pete said as he set up his equipment. But I will do what I can. After several hours of tests, Pete called Alex and Samantha to a small room they were using as a temporary lab. You were right to call me, Pete said, his eyes wide with excitement. These readings are incredible. The navigation array is not purely mechanical. It contains what I can only describe as semi-organic components. Semi-organic, like it is partly alive? Alex asked. Not alive in the way we understand life, Pete explained. But these components respond to stimuli in ways similar to living tissue. They adapt, learn, and even heal under the right conditions. That would explain why standard replacement procedures do not work well, Samantha said. If you replace parts of a living system with artificial components, the system might reject them. Alex thought about all the repairs they had done on alien ships over the past 6 months. The pattern was becoming clear. We need to change our approach completely, she said. We have been treating these ships like machines, but we need to treat them more like patients. Over the next week, Alex's team worked with Pete to develop a new repair method for the Hegemony ship. Instead of simply replacing damaged components, they treated the navigation array as a semi-living entity that needed healing rather than fixing. They created a special energy field that encouraged the system's natural healing processes. They carefully removed damaged sections and allowed the healthy parts to grow and extend into the empty spaces. They monitored the system's responses and adjusted their methods based on what worked best. Captain Vra watched their progress with growing interest. At first, he had seemed skeptical of their unusual methods, but as the navigation array began to show improvement, his attitude changed. Your approach is unorthodox, he told Alex one day as they observed the array's power levels rising steadily. But I cannot argue with the results. It is not just unorthodox, Alex replied. It is based on a completely different understanding of your ship systems. They are not just machines, they have organic qualities. Vra was silent for a long moment. This knowledge is not widely shared with younger species like yours. Alex looked at him in surprise. You mean you knew? Of course, Vra said. The Hegemony has been building ships this way for millennia. What we do not fully understand is why human repair techniques work so well with our systems. Your species has no history with semi-organic technology. Maybe that is exactly why, Alex suggested. We approach each problem fresh without preconceptions. After 2 weeks of work, the navigation array was fully functional again. In fact, it was working better than before with a 15% increase in targeting precision. Engineer Morgan, you have done what our best technicians could not, Captain Vra said. The Hegemony High Command will be most interested in your methods. Before leaving, Vra made Alex an offer that shocked her. He invited her to visit the legendary shipyards of the Hegemony home world. There she could study how their vessels were built and potentially revolutionize human understanding of starship technology. It is an honor rarely extended to non-Hegemony species, Vra explained. But I believe the exchange of knowledge would benefit both our peoples. Alex was excited by the opportunity, but also worried about leaving Station 7 during such a busy time. She promised to consider the offer. As she was walking back to her quarters that evening, Alex received an urgent message from Diane Collins, the station security chief. Alex, we need to talk, Diane said when they met in her office. I have received some disturbing information from our contacts in the Galactic Alliance. What kind of information? Alex asked, feeling a sense of dread. Several powerful factions are becoming concerned about humanity's growing influence in starship technology, Diane explained. Some are calling for restrictions on human repair facilities. They claim we are violating intellectual property regulations by modifying proprietary systems. That is ridiculous, Alex said. We are just doing repairs. The captains come to us voluntarily. I know, Diane replied. But there is more to it. The major shipbuilding powers are losing business because ships repaired by humans last longer and perform better. They are putting pressure on the Alliance Council. Alex sat back in her chair, thinking about Captain Vra's invitation. It now seemed more important than ever to understand the true nature of advanced alien vessels. We need to learn everything we can about these semi-organic systems, she said finally. If powerful groups want to shut us down, our best defense is knowledge. What had started as a simple repair job had now become something much bigger. Alex realized she was at the center of a situation that could affect humanity's place in the galaxy. Alex spent 3 days thinking about Captain Vra's offer. She talked with Frank, Samantha, and Pete, asking for their advice. In the end, she decided to accept the invitation to visit the Hegemony home world. If human repair techniques were causing problems with the major powers of the galaxy, she needed to understand exactly why. "I will be gone for about 3 weeks," Alex told her team. "Samantha will be in charge while I am away." Frank was not happy about her leaving, but he understood how important this opportunity was. "Just be careful," he said. "The Hegemony are not known for sharing their secrets easily." 2 days later, Alex boarded Captain Vra's battle cruiser. The journey to the Hegemony home world would take 1 week at maximum warp speed. During that time, Vra allowed her to study the ship systems in detail. "Our vessels contain what we call adaptive matrices," Vra explained as they walked through the ship's main engineering section. "They are created through a special process that combines technology with specially grown materials. So they are not exactly alive, but they are not exactly machines either," Alex said. "Correct, they exist somewhere in between," Vra replied. When they finally reached the Hegemony home world, Alex was amazed. The planet was covered with tall, crystal-like structures that sparkled in the light of its 2 suns. But even more impressive were the orbital shipyards. "This is where our greatest vessels are created," Vra said as their shuttle approached one of the massive space stations. Inside the shipyard, Alex discovered something that changed her understanding completely. The Hegemony did not build their ships. They grew them in enormous chambers filled with strange energy fields. Ship components developed from small, seed-like objects. Hegemony engineers monitored the process, adjusting the conditions to shape how the components grew. "The process takes about 2 Earth years for a ship of this size," explained Zareth, the shipyard's chief engineer. He was older than Vra, with skin so pale it was almost transparent. "Each vessel develops unique characteristics based on the conditions of its growth. That is why standardized repairs often fail," Alex realized. "Each ship is as unique as a person." "Precisely," Zareth agreed. "Which is why your human approach has been successful. You treat each ship according to its individual needs rather than following standard procedures." Alex spent 2 weeks studying the Hegemony shipbuilding process. She learned that many advanced species in the galaxy used similar methods, though each had their own variations. The massive ships that traveled between the stars were not simply constructed. They were cultivated like living things. As her visit came to an end, Alex felt both excited and worried. The knowledge she had gained would revolutionize human understanding of starship technology, but she also understood why powerful interests might feel threatened by human repair techniques. When she returned to Station 7, Alex found the situation had gotten worse. Frank met her at the docking bay, his face serious. "The Galactic Alliance Trade Commission has launched an official investigation," he said as they walked to his office. "They claim our repair methods are interfering with proprietary biomechanical systems without proper licensing." "That is ridiculous," Alex said. "We are just helping ships that come to us voluntarily." "I know," Frank replied. "But there is more to it than that. The major shipbuilding powers operate what amounts to a planned obsolescence scheme. Ships are designed to require regular factory servicing, creating a perpetual revenue stream for them. Our repairs are disrupting this model." When they reached Frank's office, Alex found a surprise. Commissioner Larnick of the Galactic Alliance Trade Commission was sitting there. He was a short, round alien with blue skin and 6 small eyes arranged in a circle on his face. "Engineer Morgan," Larnick said, standing up, "I have been waiting to speak with you." "Commissioner," Alex replied, trying to stay calm. "What exactly is the Trade Commission's concern with our repair facility?" Larnick's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. "The issue is quite simple. Your facility is modifying advanced biomechanical systems without proper certification or licensing. This violates multiple trade agreements." "We are just doing repairs," Alex said. "The captains come to us because they want our help." "That may be true," Larnick replied. "But the intellectual property rights for these systems belong to the manufacturers. They invested millennia of research into developing this technology." The real issue became clear to Alex. This was not about rules or regulations. It was about money and control. "So what happens now?" she asked. "The Commission will hold hearings next month," Larnick explained. "Until then, your facility may continue operating, but we recommend you limit your activities to human vessels only." After the commissioner left, Alex and Frank discussed their options. The situation looked bad. The major shipbuilding powers had far more influence in the Galactic Alliance than Earth did. "We need allies," Frank said. "I might have an idea about that," Alex replied. The next day, she sent messages to every ship captain whose vessel had been repaired at Station 7. She explained the situation and asked for their support. The response was better than she had hoped. Within 1 week, ships began arriving at the station, not for repairs, but to show support. Captain Ziegfeld was among the first to arrive. "Your message reached us at the edge of the Rixian sector," he told Alex. "I came as soon as I could." "Thank you," Alex said, "but I am not sure what difference it will make. The Trade Commission has already made up its mind." "Perhaps," Ziegfeld replied, his mandibles clicking softly. "But they have not heard from the independent captains and traders who make up the majority of galactic traffic. We have our own influence." As more ships arrived, a plan began to form. The independent captains and traders from 17 different species agreed to speak at the commission hearings. They would testify about how human repairs had saved lives and livelihoods. Meanwhile, Frank worked with Earth's government to develop a legal defense. He also started organizing what he called a right to repair movement, arguing that ship owners should have the right to seek repairs from any qualified facility. The smaller independent worlds and trading outposts began supporting the movement too. Many of them had their own repair facilities that operated similarly to Station 7, though none had been as successful with advanced alien vessels. As the date of the hearings approached, Alex worried about what would happen. The major shipbuilding powers had thousands of years of influence in the galaxy. Earth had been part of the Galactic Alliance for less than a decade, but she also felt hopeful. The support from the independent captains and smaller worlds showed that humanity was not alone in this fight, and the knowledge she had gained at the hegemony shipyards would help them make their case. "We are not fighting against alien technology," she told her team during a meeting. "We are fighting for the right to help these semi-organic ships in the way they respond to best. It is not about human versus alien. It is about listening to what each individual ship needs." The day before the hearings were set to begin, Captain Vra's battle cruiser returned to Station 7. Alex was surprised to see him again so soon. "I did not expect to find you still operating," Vra said when they met. "The commission allowed us to continue until the hearings," Alex explained. Vra nodded his long head. "I have come to offer my support. The Hegemony High Command has taken an interest in this situation." "Does that mean they are on our side?" Alex asked hopefully. "No, Hegemony rarely takes sides," Vra replied. "But we value knowledge and innovation. Your approach to ship repair represents both. It would be inefficient to allow it to be suppressed." With the Hegemony's support along with the independent captains and smaller worlds, the fight was becoming more balanced. As Alex prepared for the hearings, she realized that what had started as a simple repair job had evolved into something that could change the power structure of the entire galaxy. The Galactic Alliance Council chambers were located on a space station called Unity Point. It was a huge ring-shaped structure that floated at a point in space exactly halfway between the territories of the founding Alliance members. Alex had never been to Unity Point before. As she stepped off the transport ship with Frank and the rest of their team, she felt nervous. The council chambers were famous throughout the galaxy. This was where the most important decisions affecting all species were made. "Impressive, is not it?" Frank said, looking at the soaring ceilings and walls made of a strange, shimmering material that seemed to change color as they walked. Alex nodded. "I never thought I would be here to defend repair techniques." The hearing was scheduled to begin in 2 hours. Their group was shown to a waiting area where captains from all over the galaxy had gathered to support them. Captain Ziegfeld approached. "Alex, the council has agreed to hear testimony from 20 ship captains," he said. "We have chosen those with the most compelling stories to represent us." "Thank you," Alex replied. "I just hope it is enough." The council chamber itself was a large circular room with seats for over 200 representatives from different worlds. In the center was a small platform where speakers would stand to address the council. When it was time for the hearing to begin, the chamber filled with representatives. Alex was surprised at how many had come. This issue seemed to have captured the attention of the entire alliance. Commissioner Larnick spoke first, presenting the case against Station 7. "The issue before us is clear," he said, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Human repair techniques are interfering with proprietary biomechanical systems without proper certification or understanding. This not only violates trade agreements, but potentially endangers ships and crews. Representatives from the major shipbuilding consortiums spoke next. They showed diagrams and technical specifications, trying to prove that human repairs were dangerous and unauthorized. These systems require specialized knowledge developed over thousands of years, said a representative from the Mellorin shipyards, one of the oldest in the galaxy. Humans simply do not have the experience or understanding to modify them safely. Then it was Earth's turn. Frank stepped onto the speaking platform first. Members of the Council, he began, this case is not about technical specifications or trade agreements. It is about a simple principle, the right to repair. Ship owners should have the freedom to choose who repairs their vessels and how. Alex spoke next, explaining what she had learned about semi-organic ship systems and how human repair techniques worked with these systems rather than against them. We do not replace parts with standardized components, she explained. We help the ship's own systems heal and adapt. Our approach is more like medicine than mechanics. Then one by one, the ship captains gave their testimony. They told stories of how human repairs had saved their vessels, improved performance, and even saved lives in emergency situations. Captain Nevra described how his cargo ship had survived the ion storm that disabled similar vessels. An old Draxian captain explained how human repairs had extended the life of his family's trading vessel by 15 years. But the most powerful testimony came from Captain Vra. As a representative of the hegemony, his words carried special weight. I came to Station 7 when my own engineers failed 3 times to repair our navigation array, he told the Council. The human approach succeeded because they recognized something we had forgotten, that our ships are more than machines. They are living technologies that respond to care and attention, not just replacement parts. The chamber was silent when Vra finished speaking. His support clearly surprised many of the representatives. Commissioner Larnick and the shipbuilding consortiums presented their counterarguments. They claimed the captain's stories were exceptional cases, not the rule. They warned about safety risks and technical problems that might develop later. But their strongest argument was about economics. If ships no longer need regular factory maintenance, one consortium representative argued, the entire shipbuilding industry will suffer. Millions of jobs across hundreds of worlds could be lost. It was a powerful point. Many council members looked concerned. As the final statements were being prepared, Captain Nevra asked for permission to show something to the council. When approved, he displayed maintenance logs from his ship and 5 others of the same model. The logs clearly showed that after standard factory servicing, performance actually decreased in many systems. They designed the ships to need constant maintenance, Nevra explained. Not to improve them, but to keep us dependent on their services. Human repairs break this cycle. The council deliberated for 3 days. Alex, Frank, and their supporters waited nervously. The decision would affect not just Station 7, but potentially humanity's place in the galaxy. Finally, they were called back to the council chamber to hear the ruling. The head counselor, an ancient being from one of the founding Alliance species, announced their decision. After careful consideration of all testimony and evidence, the Council has decided to establish new regulations for ship repair throughout the Alliance. Ship owners will have the right to seek repairs from any qualified facility. Technical specifications for biomechanical systems will be made available to certified repair stations regardless of species. The chamber erupted in cheers from the independent captains and representatives of smaller worlds. The consortium representatives looked unhappy but accepted the decision. However, the counselor continued when the noise died down, to ensure safety and proper training, human engineers must share their innovative techniques with the galaxy while respecting the semi-organic nature of advanced vessels. A new Interspecies engineering academy will be established for this purpose. 1 year later, Alex stood in her office overlooking the busy repair bays of what had once been Station 7. The station had been expanded and renamed the Galactic Interspecies Engineering Academy. Ships from all over the galaxy came not just for repairs, but for training and cultural exchange. Human engineers now worked alongside alien technicians, each learning from the other's perspective. The right to repair movement had spread throughout the Alliance, changing not just how ships were maintained, but how species worked together. Alex watched as a new class of students, representing 15 different species, gathered in Bay 4 for a lesson on adaptive repair techniques. The instructor was Captain Ziegthal, who had retired from space travel to become a teacher. "Engineer Morgan," a voice said behind her. Alex turned to see Captain Vra. "Captain, I did not know you were visiting the station," she said, surprised. "I came to share some news," Vra replied. "The latest statistics on ships serviced using the new combined techniques show unprecedented reliability and performance improvements. The Hegemony High Command is most pleased." "That is wonderful," Alex said. "And what about the shipbuilding consortiums? Have they adapted to the new reality?" "They resisted at first," Vra admitted. "But several have begun developing new ship designs specifically meant to work with interspecies repair techniques. They are finding new markets for vessels that improve with age rather than deteriorate." As Vra left, Alex turned back to the window. Below, a young human engineer was working side by side with a Rixian technician, their 4 hands moving in perfect coordination as they repaired a ship system. What had begun with one alien captain seeking human repairs had evolved into something much greater. A new understanding between species, a new approach to technology, and a new place for humanity in the galactic community. As Captain Ziegthal had once said during the council hearings, humans taught us that imperfection is not something to be corrected, but something to be integrated and learned from in repairing our ships. They have helped repair our understanding of the galaxy itself.